In this lesson, we're going to talk about alarms. The Android operating system has alarms to allow you to schedule your application to be run at some point in the future. When an alarm goes off, it automatically starts the target application if it's not already running. And in fact, we'll see that it will start the application in a particular intent. The alarms are retained while the device is asleep, so it can optionally wake the device up. The Alarm Manager is the class that allows us to schedule the alarms for our application. It's intended for cases where you want to have your application code run at a specific time, even if your app's not running. The Alarm Manager also holds a CPU wake lock for as long as your onReceive method is executing. This means that the phone will not sleep until you've finished handling the alarm broadcast. There are a few ways to set an alarm. The set method sets a single one-time alarm. Set repeating schedules the alarm to repeat regularly. And set inexact repeating schedules the alarm but within an exact trigger time. Basically, it means that the alarm will repeat every hour but not necessarily at the top of every hour. So it can give you essentially a regular interval but not necessarily an exact time. There are a few alarm types. The alarm types describe how the schedule is determined. The elapsed real time is in milliseconds since boot, including any sleep time that the device has had. The elapsed real-time wake-up is the same, except it will wake the device up when the alarm goes off if the device is asleep. RTC is a real-time clock, and it will use the clock time. RTC wake-up is again the same as the regular RTC, but it will also wake up the device up. There are some predetermined constants for the intervals, but you can also specify your own exact time interval. Here's a small bit of sample code, and in this code we're first creating an intent with our type of activity. So what we're saying is when the alarm goes off, we want it to run the alarm activity. So we've created our own little local intent. Next is something interesting. We create a variable called source, which uses the pending intent to get a service. Now, a pending intent is an intent, but it allows foreign applications, in this case the alarm broadcast application, to run the intent with the permissions and rights of the application that's running in. So it's basically saying, I want the alarm broadcast to be able to run the intent of alarm activity with all the permissions that that application requires to run the activity. So the pending intent get service is a static method that provides us a pending intent. And we pass in this application's context and the intent that we're going to be using. And update current just indicates that we're going to update the current state of the application if it happens to be running, as opposed to rerunning it from start. There are some other flags that you can use. Then we finally create an alarm manager, and we set the alarm in this case to use the elapsed real time with a period and calling it with that source. So that's how to set your application up to use an alarm.